Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
The Indians' epic 4-city, 11-game road trip ends today. And what a trip it has been. 8 wins, a power display featuring 17 home runs, led by newcomer Jay Bruce. And an unbelievable effort by the entire starting rotation has the Tribe now in full control of the AL Central. Danny Salazar has a chance to send the Indians home in style. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It's finally time to pack it up and head home, but not before one final game as the Indians try to sweep this 3-game series here today at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians with a chance to take all 3 from Kansas City. And on this road trip, when you think back, the trip began in Tampa when the Indians made the trade for Jay Bruce. He joined the team that night. He was limited to just 1 pinch hit appearance in that game. But since then, he has started 9 straight. He's hit in 9 straight, and he's just tearing the cover off the ball.
Boy, he's fit in. It's been a seamless transition, him coming over here, and he's been hitting the ball all over the ballpark, not only for the home run ball, the doubles, clutch RBIs. He has really been a spark for this offense. And when you look at what the Indians have done in the first 10 games, 8-2, that's unbelievable. I thought a 7-4 road trip would be a good one. Well, they got a chance to go 9-2, which would be their best road trip since 1909, but they're hitting with runners in scoring position. The pitching has been outstanding, and you don't see any reason for it to stop.
The starting pitching in particular has been unbelievable, and it's appropriate. Danny Salazar pitched the first game of this road trip, so he might as well take us home.
Yeah, he started in the 70s, and we're going to wrap it up here in 2017. Salazar's been a different pitcher since coming back. He's been much more aggressive, using his fastball a lot more, fewer walks, and I mean, he's got swing and miss stuff. There's no question about it, and Danny is just going to go out there and continue to try and build on what he has done. 2-0 in his 5 starts since returning, a nice 1.39 ERA, but you can see the walks, only 9, the strikeouts are 46. He has been a different bird.
All right, so it's the Indians and the Kansas City Royals. Coming up next, we're going to check in with Andre Knott, who caught up with Francisco Lindor before today's ball game. That's coming up next. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution. to the ballpark each and every day. Usually it's a convertible Rolls Royce. And, well, actually, awesome. They've got a vintage car show going on here at Kauffman Stadium. When we arrived at the ballpark this morning, we saw a lot of these cars out in the parking lot. It's pretty cool rides.
Very cool rides, man. It brings us back in the older days.
That's right. Speaking of older days, some people look at Francisco Lindor as a bit of a throwback. Plays every day, plays hard, plays the game the right way. He's bounced all over the lineup. Defensively, he's been outstanding. And, you know, even though he's a young player, people look to him as one of the leaders on this ball club.
Well, he is a leader in his own right. By going out there every day, he solidified this defense that they have. He fits into the lineup, hits first, second. He could hit anywhere, really, even third. So he is a player that the Indians are very fortunate to have.
Andre Knott had a chance to catch up with Frankie before today's ball game with our Hear Right Sounds of the Game.
Thanks, guys. Frankie, what's it been like for you to hit leadoff over the last week or so? Is it something that you've become comfortable with?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I understand no matter where Tito puts me in the lineup, I'm still going to be Francisco Lindor. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, whatever helps the team. And if Tito feels like that's what's going to help the team to win, that's what I'm going to do, you know. I'm not going to complain. As long as I'm playing day in and day out and I can contribute to the wins, that's what's most important.
When you guys were on the beginning of this trip, you knew it was going to be a long trip. Mm-hmm. Did you do anything else to prepare yourself, and how happy have you been with how the team has been able to play during this long trip?
It's pretty much the same thing I've been doing in the second half. Second half, I understand, is going to be a longer half than the first one. The first one goes by quick. The second one is quick as well because you're focusing more on playoffs, but your body feels out a little bit more for sure. So you're doing making sure I do my treatments, whether it's here in the training room or in my room. You know, the stuff I have, just making sure I stay healthy and making sure I come back the next day ready to play.
What have you thought about Jay Bruce and what he's been able to bring? Did you say that you guys were Instagram friends beforehand, or how have you believed how it's been so easy for him so far?
He's a hard worker. His work ethic is pretty good. He comes out here and he's having fun. He's enjoying it. I believe this scenario is more like the one he had in Cincinnati, so I feel like he's comfortable. Also, just the way yesterday ground ball, he hit it up the middle. He was hustling, you know. He was running hard, and that shows a guy that's 30 years old, that's been in the league forever. He's playing hard, you know, and if he's doing it, I better do it. And those are things that you don't take for granted, you know. He's a good guy, like I said, the first time he was here. He's a great person, and he's going to help us win. He's helping us win. You know, this road trip we've been pretty successful, and he's one of the reasons why we saw our pitching staff. He's going to help us a lot, and he's a great person, and he's helping us.
Speaking of being appreciative, how appreciative are you that in your, I guess we could say your third year, you're in another pennant race. You're with a team that's opening up the window to try to win. How nice is it to be with a team like this where you can compete to play for the last game of the season every year?
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a blessing. First, it was a blessing just to be in a race every year. You don't want to be in a rebuilding team. You know, you want to be in a team that's competing to win and competing to be in the playoffs every year. And that's one of the reasons why I had a little bit of success, you know, because it's all about winning. There's no such a thing as we'll get them next year or we'll get them 2 weeks from now. No, let's make sure we get it tonight. Let's make sure we win. Let's make sure we put ourselves in a good spot where we all happy.
How happy have you been with Danny and seeing Salazar come back and look like the Danny that we all got used to seeing last year?
Extremely happy. Extremely happy. The reason why, not because he's having success, not because he's back. I mean, yeah, he's back and we all like him, but the reason why is because he's competing. No matter what, he's out there and competing. First day, the outing he had in Minnesota, first inning, he wasn't feeling comfortable at first inning, and he said something. He's like, "I'll be back." He went to the clubhouse, came back, and grinded out the rest of the game. That's what we want. That's what I want of my teammates. That's what I expect of myself. You know, go out there and compete no matter what, whether you make a mistake or not. Just go out there and compete, and we'll be successful more times than others.
I think what's been most impressive about Francisco Lindor is the level of consistency with which not only does he play, but how he presents himself, how he shows up day in, day out.
He enjoys the game. You can tell he's smiling all the time. But on this road trip, I found out one thing, that everybody's starting to pull their own weight, and they're not looking to do more than they're capable of doing, and everybody's doing a great job at it.
You know, it's funny. Somebody pointed out to me the other day, it was 1 year ago, yesterday or the day before, when Tyler Naquin hit the inside the park walk-off home run in Cleveland. Remember, that was a flashpoint for that team. That was late in the season.
Yeah.
The Jay Bruce trade, the way they've played on this road trip, you're starting to see the same thing happen with this ball club.
Yeah, and it's becoming very, very fun because everybody's competing, and they're pulling all in the same direction.
All right, we'll be back with the first pitch coming up shortly. Alan Jensen will take it away next from the studio when we come back. Jason Kipnis with the game's first run. The Indians will play from in front. Well, that's a dynamite play. Third by Ramirez. Hit to first. What a play by Santana. And Roberto Perez delivers with a two-out, two-run single to left. Kipnis going up the middle, makes a nice diving stop. Throws him out at first base. Back goes Geyer. Makes the catch, hangs on, and this game is over. And what a road trip for the Indians. They've won 8 out of 10. And trying to make it 9 out of 11 before heading home to Cleveland after this game here this afternoon. Indians are 15 games over 500 at 68-53 as we get ready for today's ball game.
And let's check out Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals, Jason Hamill, making his team-leading 25th start this year. He's 34 years old. He is 2-0 against the Indians. He beat them back on May 5th. It was a 3-1 ball game. That was matched up against Danny Salazar. And also June 3rd he beat him. It was a 12-5 ball game. Out of his 5 wins, he certainly has 2 of them against the Indians. And one of the reasons why he doesn't give up many hits with runners in scoring position. One of the better pitchers around to do that.
Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor leading it off, followed by Jason Kipnis, who's heating up. Jose Ramirez will bat third. Edwin Encarnacion in the cleanup spot. Jay Bruce riding a 9-game hitting streak gets 5th. Then it's Carlos Santana, Austin Jackson, Bradley Zimmer, and Yan Gomes rounded out for the Tribe.
And the Kansas City defense brought to you by WB Mason. Behind Hamill looks like this afternoon. Cabrera gets a start in left field. Kane is in center. Bonifacio over and right. Cuthbert is at third base. Escobar at short. Merrifield at second. Hosmer is at first. And Gallagher doing the catching.
Brian Knight behind the plate this afternoon. Chris Conroy at first. Crew chief Ron Culpa at second. And Marvin Hudson is down at third. And with that, we are ready to go. Jason Hamill's first pitch in there for a strike. Hamill, big guy at 6'6". The 0-1, a little high.
Well, Hamill, you go back to June 1st, he has had very good control. He's only walked 16 batters in his 85 2/3 innings, and that's one thing. If you minimize the walks, you minimize those base runners.
Lindor bunts it, and it might be a perfect bunt.
Oh, it hit the grass. It hit the grass, the cut of that grass and rolled foul. It should have been perfect. If it stays up on top of the grass, it's a perfect bunt. It just caught the edge of it and it rolled foul. If it just stayed on the dirt, I think it would have stayed fair. But there it hits the grass and then it goes foul. Nice try.
Francisco Lindor this year has been hot and cold at the plate. Down and in. You have to remember he's had 3 hit streaks this year. Double digits or more, 13-gamer and 2 12-game hitting streaks. Got 2-2.
Hamill, a guy just like Carlos Carrasco, now going from the stretch. No full windup anymore.
Signed a 2-year free agent contract in the offseason with the Royals. 2-2. Missed inside. Full count. You know, on one hand, you look at Hamill's numbers and you think, wait, he should be better than 5-9 and a 4.74 ERA. In his last 8 starts, he's allowed more than 3 runs only once.
Yeah, he got off to a slow start for him. Look out.
Shattered bat ended up in the netting above the Royals dugout.
Lindor's looking. That was a fair ball.
I don't think he ever saw it.
No.
It ended up down by first base. Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Hamill's numbers against the Indians this year, impressive. But, you know, his last time out, he gave up 4 runs. That's the only time in his last 8 starts he's given up more than 3. And run support has been an issue for him as well. In his last 10 starts, they've scored 3 runs of support for him or less 9 out of the 10 times. And in those 10 starts, he's 1-3 with 6 no decisions.
And that's really out of his control. Nothing he can do about that. He can keep you in a ball game. Just pitching on the wrong day, because offensively they've been swinging the bat very well. They've been hitting with runners in scoring position. Kansas City has up until the last 2 games.
Kipnis doesn't like the call and tells Brian Knight.
Yeah, that's a changeup. Check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. He thought that ball's leaking out over the plate and off the plate. The fastball, curveball, changeup for Hamill.
High fastball, and it's 2-2.
Kipnis has started this both games. One with a home run, one with a double to get him going in the first inning.
High fastball, couldn't help himself. And there are 2 down.
He elevates it above the belt, and you get the swing and miss. That's definitely a ball, but it's the pitch you chase after. It looks so good, but you rarely catch up to it.
And with 2 down, it brings up Jose Ramirez. Over the months of June and July, Jose Ramirez collected 73 hits and ran his batting average up .342. It's cooled off here in the month of August, but hard to maintain that high level of offensive excellence. But Ramirez still enters the day leading the American League in extra base hits. Leads the league in doubles.
Yeah, he's one away from 40. Double department.
7th in the league in batting average. Takes it up high, 3-1.
Now he's going deep into the count now to the first 3 hitters.
Hamill throws a fastball by him, full count. Edwin Encarnacion would be next if Ramirez reaches here in the first. He went too far, and Hamill strikes out a pair in the opening frame. Indians go in order. The Royals are coming to bat.
Now to toe the rubber, the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. And Salazar making his 16th start this year. His 6th since coming back off the disabled list. He's been outstanding. He has pitched 2 starts against the Royals this year. He's 0-2, and he pitched pretty good in both those games.
Ned Yost starting lineup brought to you by Hankook Tires. Whit Merrifield in the leadoff spot. Lorenzo Cain bats second. 3 left-handed hitters follow. Hosmer, Cabrera, Moustakas, righties the rest of the way. Bonifacio, Escobar, Cuthbert, and Gallagher. Bonifacio, Cuthbert, Gallagher all getting their first action in the series here today. Danny Salazar looking to continue a trend of dominant Indian starting pitching in which they have allowed 1 or no runs in 10 of the last 12 games. That fastball hit up the middle and through. Whit Merrifield snaps an 0 for 23 slump with a leadoff single.
Well, he had a good swing at a fastball. He likes the fastball, and he had the count in his favor, and he got one down and gets it right past Salazar. Goes into center field. So he gets their first inning started with a hit.
Lorenzo Cain is 3 for 7 in this series. Takes down low, ball 1. It's a Royals ball club that comes in having lost 14 of their last 21 games. They have fallen back to the 500 mark. And in the very crowded wild card standings, Kansas City's a game and a half back of both Minnesota and the Angels, who are tied for the second wild card position. And Seattle's only a half game behind. Royals and Rangers are both game and a half out.
Kansas City has been team streak this year. You know, they've had good ups and bad downs. They started the year going 10-20 out of their first 30 games, and then they really had to battle to come back. And you know, you're fighting uphill all the way to get to that 500 mark. They finally get it and get over it, and now they're slumping again.
Two-one chop to third. Ramirez backed up on it. Goes to second. There's one. Kipnis turns a double play. Oh, is that nicely done? 5-4-3. They go around the horn. And Jose Ramirez got off a perfect strike to Jason Kipnis.
You see, he had to retreat on that ball because of the hop, and that's a tough play when you have to go back on it as a third baseman. But with the big swing by Cain, he didn't get a good jump out of the box, and that enabled them to turn it. Kip, a nice turn to get the double play. Indians, it's their 116th double play turned on the season.
Eric Hosmer takes a pitch down and in. Last night's shutout was already the third this year here in Kansas City for Indians pitching. They're 12th overall as a staff, and that's tied with the Dodgers for the most in the majors. Hosmer lines one to left. And a two-out single keeps the inning going for Kansas City.
Let's check out the Tribe defense brought to you by Ram. It'll be Jackson to left, Zimmer at center, Bruce is over and right. Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at second, Santana at first, and Gomes doing the catching.
Melky Cabrera, switch hitting Royals outfielder.
One thing that Salazar did so well in his last start back in Minnesota, where he went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, he was able to keep that fastball down in the zone.
Melky Cabrera way out in front on the changeup. It's 0-2. Cabrera had 3 hits in the series opener Friday night. 0 for 4 in last night's game. Swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the inning. So the Royals get a couple of hits, but they cannot cash in. The Tribe turns 2 behind Salazar, and we're scoreless after 1. No score, second inning. Edwin Encarnacion leading it off. Edwin, since the arrival of Jay Bruce, has just really taken off. Jay Bruce is riding a 9-game hitting streak, and Edwin, during Bruce's 9-game hitting streak, has hit 6 home runs. He's driven in 8, and he's scored 8. Now the 1-1. Missed inside.
Look at Kane out in center field. He's playing him over in right center field.
Knocked the shortstop Escobar down, but plenty of time to get up and throw out Encarnacion one away.
Well, this is a guy that's out there every day and plays outstanding defense, and he realized who's running, and he had the time to take his time and get up and make the throw across. So a good play by him to take a hit away from Encarnacion.
Jay Bruce takes a breaking ball for a strike. He has collected 12 runs batted in during his 9-game hitting streak. Clobbers this one to center field, but it's right in the tracks of Lorenzo Cain. 2 down.
Well, live Indians baseball is back in 2017 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download the #1 app for live baseball, which is MLB.com at bat.
Carlos Santana. He has also taken off here on this road trip with a 7-game hitting streak, adding .461 during that tear. And overall on the road trip, Santana has drawn 8 walks and scored 9 runs. Back out of play. Downstairs.
That's the pitch he's trying to get the left-handers to chase when he gets to 2 strikes. That breaking ball, back foot breaking ball. They've been able to lay off of it. Actually got his 2 strikeouts on the fastball, elevated to both Kipnis and Ramirez.
Just a bit outside, a full count. Payoff pitch outside as well, and a 2-out walk for Carlos Santana. That's his 9th walk on this road trip. Get inside the golf zone with Jimmy Hanlon, presented by Varmint Guard. Final tournament on the PGA Tour before the playoffs begin. We'll have highlights of this weekend's Solheim Cup on the LPGA Tour. Golf Zone tees off tonight at 8 on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go.
That was the 69th walk for Carlos Santana, which is 5th best in the league. Encarnacion is 2nd with 78.
It brings up Austin Jackson, showing no signs of slowing down. He is 3 for 6 in the series with an RBI, a couple of runs scored. And you go back over his last 28 games, he's batting .364. Out of play to the right.
He held that ball for quite some time. It's hard to sit up in the batter's box when a pitcher holds it that long. And you know, Santana's not a base stealer by any means, but sometimes you get a little defensive in the batter's box if you have to wait too long before calling timeout.
Now the 0-2. And he struck him out. So Jason Hamill has fan 3 in the first 2 frames here today. No score, middle of the second. And we are scoreless with Mike Moustakas coming to the plate to lead it off for Kansas City. Last inning we were talking about the Indians pitching, and I mentioned that the Tribe has shut out Kansas City 3 times here at Kauffman Stadium, 12 times overall, and tied with the Dodgers for the most in the majors. But that note I read about being tied with the Dodgers was from last night before the Dodgers game went final, and they shut out the Tigers.
Right.
So in the major leagues, the Dodgers have 1 more shutout now than the Indians. They have 13. Here's the 1-0. Moustakas swings
and
misses.
a lot of those shutouts for the Indians, what is it, 10 have come on the road?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And the Royals have been shut out 10 times this year, which is tied with Tampa Bay for the most in the majors. Now that to me is really hard to believe, because you look at this Kansas City lineup and a lot of good hitters.
There are good hitters, man. They got off to a slow start, though. For whatever reason, they buried themselves early, and I think a lot of them came early.
2-2 the count on Moustakas. Out of play. Now 6 of those shutouts for the Royals came before the All-Star break.
Yeah. Get them early.
Full count for Moustakas. And that's low, ball 4. He walks the leadoff man after he had him down on the count. Let's go downstairs to Andre.
Well, and Danny Salazar's last start, we all were able to see that he was mouthing something to himself. He did it after the 3rd inning, basically, for the rest of his outing. Here's what he was saying. It's basically slow, up, and go. Now, each one of those things means something, and when he was back in the minors and we would sit down with Tony Arnold and others, this is what slow means. It means set up carefully on the mound, eye the target. Don't rush to throw the ball. Up means stand straight up for better balance, and go means finish strong in his release and his delivery. One of the problems they thought that he had run into early on when he was having problems this year was that he was speeding through his delivery, not standing straight up, and that was leaving the ball to go wherever it wanted to go at certain different times. I asked him if he knew who Bert Fitteridge was. He looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Is this something that Tony Arnold, though, kind of went back to, sort of like back to square one with him on?
Yes, they wanted to simplify and make things easy, and they even had him start doing this just when he was playing normal catch. Like if he was playing catch with you or I, it was like I the target.
Fly ball center field, Zimmer. He's got a long way to go. He won't get it. Short hops the wall. Moustakas labors into third and stops there, but a big double for Jorge Bonifacio, his first action in the series, and he belts a double to deep center.
Well, and Bonifacio was now 3 for 7 off Danny Salazar, and he smoked that ball straight away. I was watching Zimmer go back, and that thing just kept carrying. Well, they've got the inning set up here in the second.
And Alcides Escobar will be the batter. Indians will trade it out for a run here. A little high, ball 1. Fouled back to even the count of 1-1.
Escobar, guys on a 10-game hitting streak, both him and Moustakas. He's trying to give Kansas City their first lead in the series.
The 10-game streak for Escobar, season high. Batting over 400 during his tear, and that came after he went for a 2 for 32 spiral. Bloop to center. That's going to drop. That's going to score Moustakas. Bonifacio will be held at third. So the Royals score first here today. That snaps a 17-inning scoreless drought for Kansas City. And it's their first hit in the series with a runner in scoring position. They had been 0 for 12.
Yeah, and he made a good pitch, really. But this guy, Escobar, finds a way to get the barrel of the bat to the ball. He just bloops it over the head of Kipnis at second base. They can get one in. They move up. They already have 4 hits now. And Escobar's streak goes to 11.
And it brings up Cheslor Cuthbert.
This guy also has good numbers against Salazar. Cuthbert 4 for 7.
Trying to check a swing and fouled it off.
That catch, that's a break for you right there. That's certainly a ball. Would have been a 2-0 count, but it got a piece of the bat. You know, that wasn't even near the strike zone, so he started it and catches a piece. So it evens the count at 1-1.
Back out of play. Cuthbert's last start was a week ago.
Well, Salazar looking for that first out. See if he can get it, keep that guy at third, with give him a chance to get out of the inning and minimize the damage here. So the first 3 have reached. now he's having a tough time with his off-speed pitches. The slider and the changeup commanding them. Looks like he's fighting himself out there to try and get him in there for strikes.
Oh, he swung and missed and strikes him out. Second strikeout for Salazar, first out of the inning. Cuthbert really back on his heels trying to take this one deep.
Yeah, but watching it backs up, Matt. He's not throwing that slider like he wants to. You know, that thing usually breaking down and away. It just stayed right there. And that's why we call it like a backup slider, because it just sits there and spins a little bit, but he ends up swinging through it. And that's what Danny was looking for, that first out. He gets it. Now you're a ground ball away from getting out of the inning.
Well, what you're seeing from Danny Salazar is in some ways reminiscent of what we saw last night with Trevor Bauer. One big difference, they hit those balls at people last night. I mean, Trevor said after the game, he goes, I didn't have my breaking ball. I didn't have a feel for it. I didn't have a clean inning. I had guys all over the place, but the defense made great plays. This is going to be trouble. Zimmer with a diving effort, can't get it. And a run will score to make it 2-0.
There's your difference. Instead of that ball being caught, it falls in for a base hit and gives up another run.
Cam Gallagher is 4th hit and 11 at bats. He's only here because Sal Perez is on the DL.
He'll be coming off on Tuesday. And again, now that's the second hit that's going to drive in a run. That's a bloop. Zimmer made a great effort, but you're playing a little deeper here because of the big outfield. And that ball just flies out of his glove. He wouldn't have been able to get up and throw him out anyway, the way he had to go after that ball. But instead of being an out, it goes as a base hit, and the Royals have 2 in.
Yeah, Trevor said last night, he goes, I can't explain this. He said, felt like it definitely had better stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes the baseball gods are with you, sometimes they're against you. And Ned Yost said after the game last night, he goes, we smoked some balls tonight, but we hit them right at guys, and they made the plays.
It's a difference of a ball game sometimes.
Danny right now is looking for a little good fortune. Fastball strike.
Well, Matt, I brought this up to Trevor last night because he talked so much earlier in the first half of the season how he had no luck and he would make good pitches and they would get hit. And he looked at me and shrugged his shoulders and laughed. And he goes, the game makes no sense at all. Maybe I need to stop trying to figure it out and just go out there and pitch. And he's right.
There's a liner to right field. Caught by Bruce. And there are 2 down. Well, it is hard to sometimes try to figure it out because I'm sure if you're a pitcher, and if you put as much time and effort into it as a guy like Trevor Bauer does, you put all that planning and all that preparation, all that hard work, and then you go out there and you make what you think is a good pitch where you want it, and the guy flips one off the end of the bat or he finds a hole. That would drive you nuts.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. That's all part of the game.
It is, but I think when you're a guy like Trevor that tries to figure everything out and when you can't, it drives him nuts. And he said to me, he goes, I didn't have a curveball last night. I didn't have a feel for my changeup last night. And he goes, this is the only game this season where I didn't give up a run.
Well, sometimes it's, you're better off being lucky than good. In the game of baseball, the ball, you can get the atom balls, and he did have a few of them. Hosmer hit 2 right at Santana, although there was some good plays. Kipnis made a good play. Ramirez made a good play. That goes a long way.
Lorenzo Cain takes down low.
They do have 5 hits the first time through the lineup. They're 5 for 8 off Danny here.
The 1-1 and missed inside. Yeah, he's just
fighting it.
Yeah,
he doesn't look comfortable out there on the mound. You can tell he's just he's battling himself out there right now.
Kane pulls it foul. I wish I could remember the exact quote, but Ian Kennedy the other night after his start said, sometimes you go out there with A or B stuff and you can do whatever you want. Sometimes, you've got C stuff and you got to really compete. He goes, I had D or maybe F stuff tonight. And every once in a while you go out there and the ball's just not spinning the way you want it to, or you just can't command it.
But that as a pitcher, and you're pitching your game. There's just you can't say a whole lot except I was just not very good tonight. That happens. It's a long, long year.
Diving stop by Lindor. He'll go to Kipnis for the inning-ending force to retire the side. Kansas City scores 2. Could have been worse, so a pretty decent job overall in limiting the damage. But Kansas City has the early lead.
Celebrate the two-time manager of the year. 12,500 fans will receive a Terry Francona bobblehead. That's courtesy of Pepsi. The Indians will be taking on the Boston Red Sox, and great seats remain. You can grab a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio, or a $15 KeyBank Kids ticket online only. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Bradley Zimmer leading off here in the third. Indians down a couple. Takes a fastball strike. Down and in. When the Indians score first this year, their record now stands at 49-19. The opposition scores first. They're just 19-34.
That's
nice
beauty.
bunt.
Put it in your pocket. You're not going to get that, guy.
Zimmer gets a bunt single to start the third.
Well, Moustakas is DHing today, so Cuthbert put in there at third base, and that's the second guy that's bunted on him. And I'll tell you what, Lindor had him too, except it hit the cut of the grass. So a nice start, good bunt, get on base, and he waited. He made sure that bunt went down before he got out of the batter's box. He didn't rush it, and a nice job. So that's the first hit for the Indians.
So the leadoff man aboard for Yan Gomes. On Friday night, Yan Gomes had a 2-out, 2-run single that extended the Indians' lead to 5-1 at that point. And then last night, it was Roberto Perez with the 2-out, 2-run single. Gave the Indians a 3-0 advantage. Went from 1-0 to 3-0. Gomes out of play to the right. Nothing into the count.
The way the Indians have been scoring on this road trip and been swinging the bat, that's no problem. They got a lot of time to come back.
I think the bigger concern, at least in the early going here, is can Danny Salazar figure out a way to hang around in this game?
Yeah, the last thing the Royals want to do is get swept at home. And, they're fighting for a wild card spot. They certainly want to salvage one game of this series, and they'll be on attack with a lead.
Runner goes, and
beautiful.
the pitch short hops the catcher, goes to the backstop. So Zimmer, who was running, gets the stolen base.
Pick the right pitch.
Give him 15 on the year.
And it short hops that ball out in front of the dirt, in front of the plate. So an easy stolen base for Bradley. This would be like manufacturing a run here if they could get Zimmer home with the bunt. Stolen base. Now get him over and in.
Popped him up shallow center. Kane makes the catch. 1 down. You mentioned before the Royals don't want to get swept here at home. They've lost 4 straight here at the K and 6 of their last 7.
Well, at home this year, they're only 32-29. 3 games over the 500 mark, but they're under 500 against Central Division foes, 23-26. And they're going to spend most of September playing the Central Division. Got the Rockies coming in here on Tuesday for a 3-game set.
Popped him up, foul ground. Cuthbert and Gallagher, and it's the catcher Gallagher who tries to make the catch but could not get there.
That's a little communication. I think Cuthbert could have got there and made the catch. It's a little tougher play for the young catcher. And it looked like Cuthbert was over there, and then he just gives way. Unless he heard him calling for it and he didn't want to be aggressive and call him off. It was close, but that's a really tough play for a catcher. You're looking up into the sunshine. It's a high, bright sky today. So it's a break for Lindor. Take advantage. That's an extra swing.
One ball, one strike. Lindor for the year, a .272 batter with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, this is where Hamill is very good. The opposition hitting just 198 off him this year. He gets the outs when you have to, and that's the key to pitching. He's third among AL qualifiers, making his 25th start. But if you're the Indians, all you need is that one break, get a base hit, and they seem to start rolling when they get one early. And they've been hitting over 300 on this road trip with runners in scoring position.
Lindor sends a high fly ball deep right field. Down the line it goes.
Fair?
It is off the pole. A 2-run homer. And we are tied at 2 here in the third.
And there's your break. And I was watching Lindor run down the line. And I mean, he had some body English. He knew it was going to be awfully close, but it hits the pole. And that's home run number 20 for Frankie. You watch him start leaning, saying, please stay fair. He had the good look. It was a breaking ball in. And he's saying, no, stay fair, stay fair. It hits the pole. And we have a new ball game. So they come right back.
So Francisco Lindor, he reaches the 20-homer plateau now, Arch. Put him in the club.
Yes, indeed.
Kipnis sends a fly ball to left field.
Having trouble with it?
And on the run, making the catch is Melky Cabrera. He didn't look real sure of himself initially.
You know, I think he was trying to keep it out of the sun as he's running. If he went over there any quicker, he'd run it right into the sun.
And with 2 down, Jose Ramirez to the plate. The inning began with a Bradley Zimmer bunt. And the Francisco Lindor homer ties it up. Ramirez almost went after, but he held up.
He had the same sequence in his first at-bat. See if he follows it up with a fastball up and away where he got the check swing to get him after that down and in breaking ball. Went back to it, doubled up on it. So the Indians able to answer that 2-run Kansas City second. So that's good. We'll see if that puts life into Salazar now coming back out after this inning. Always nice to respond and answer. Keep that momentum on your side.
Chop towards first. Hosmer gonna have to hurry. And he beats Ramirez to the bag to end the inning. Francisco Lindor with a little body English ties the game at 2. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Bottom of the third here in Kansas City. 2-2 ball game. Now we turn our eyes to Danny Salazar to see if he can make some kind of an adjustment or just try to find a way to compete and stay around, because the Orioles have already tagged him for 5 hits, couple of runs in the first 2 innings. And he just hasn't been able to command the ball and get ahead.
Yeah, he's a guy that usually he gives up a lot less hits than innings pitched. But they've had their way. When they've hit him hard, they fell, and even when they did, he made good pitches. They got a couple of base hits to drive in their runs when he got inside on the hitters. So he has new life here, though. 2-2 ball game.
Swung on and missed. That kind of looked like the same pitch he threw to Cheslor Cuthbert that Cuthbert struck out on. Not maybe where he wanted it, but still effective. Down and in, 2-2. Oh, in and out of the glove. Gomes unable to make it stick.
Well, that's just it either goes in or it doesn't. Not much you can do about that. Didn't really get him right into the pocket. Caught him a little high up on the fingers, and it just trickled out.
Swung on and missed. He got him to go fish.
That doesn't matter that time.
Third strikeout for Salazar. One down here in the third inning.
You watch the changeup here. It just, the bottom falls out into the dirt. Gomes, it hits the dirt. He'll pick it back up at Tag Hosmer to get the first out and his third strikeout.
Melky Cabrera. Fastball strike.
Hit the Indians well this year. 346 clip. Most all the damage coming when he was with the White Sox. First time Friday night that he's played against him as a Royal.
Ground ball to first. There's Carlos Santana, and there are 2 away. Let's go down to Andre.
Well, the last time most fans saw Corey Kluber on the mound here at the K, it was kind of a negative situation as he went out into the game with a right ankle sprain. Well, today he was back on the mound doing his side work as you see it right now. This is a couple hours before the game, pushing off on that right foot. You didn't see a wince there. We were told today that if he could get through this, everything would point towards him making his next start. He has said all along he'll make his next start. I talked to him last night, this morning. He told me he feels 30 times better than he did last night, and he thinks it's going to continue going that way. And as I said, when you watch him there on the side, it looked like normal Corey Kluber.
All right, thank you, Andre.
Good news.
Kluber scheduled to start Wednesday against Boston. Tito basically said, look, worst case scenario, you push him back a day or 2. He said if anything pops up, there's some residual swelling, some soreness. He said, you know, maybe we just shuffle the deck, we move him back a day or 2. But right now, all systems look like they're heading in the direction that he will make that start. Mike Clevenger set to go tomorrow in the series opener against the Red Sox. Carlos Carrasco on Tuesday. Then it would be Kluber Wednesday, Bauer on Thursday. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2 on Moustakas. Kenton Maeda was perfect for the Dodgers through 5, but the Tigers ambushed him in the 6th. Justin Upton a 2-run homer. 4-1 Detroit as they've gone now to the 8th inning.
How hot has Upton been in the second half for the second straight year?
I was just going to say that's what happened last year.
Yes, he took off, and he's swinging it well again.
The 1-2 swung on and missed. Danny Salazar blew it by him, and that gives him 4 strikeouts. And for the first time today, he retires the side in order. Now that, folks, is a response.
Season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards code is Brantley. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
2-2 ball game. Edwin Encarnacion leading off. Now that's a beard.
It's like Santa taking in a ball game.
A lot of maintenance involved with that thing.
An Indians fan.
Yes.
There you go.
Edwin grounded to short, or he hit a one-hop smash at Escobar that was caught in self-defense. However you want to look at it. Blasted, foul. Ooh. You know, that didn't miss, almost getting down there to the pole for a second time for the Indians in this game.
Just a little bit out in front of that one.
And it got down there in a hurry.
Well, he smoked his ball the first time up that Escobar made a nice play on.
3 balls and a strike.
On this trip, you can tell the way that some teams are pitching, Edwin. They're very careful. They don't want to make a mistake.
Edwin fights it off. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Went off his back toe.
Payoff pitch hit in the air to center field. Back goes Lorenzo Cain. Just shy of the warning track for out number 1. The injury report is brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And there's a lot to get through here, so let's bring in Andre, who has more details.
I'm here to help. Michael Brantley, we should find out a lot about tomorrow when we get back to Cleveland. They've been taking the foot out of the boot, so hopefully he can start getting out of the boot. He started some baseball-related activities already. Lonnie Chisenhall's done very well in his assignment thus far. He'll play today, and then he will take the next couple of days off because his wife Meredith and he will have their third child. So he'll get 3 days off for that, and then he'll get back into the rhythm of trying to get back to the Indians. So he'll probably play a game or two more in the minors after that 3-day hiatus. And Josh Tomlin will get on the mound tomorrow, do a stimulated game in Cleveland at Progressive Field. After that, they'll make a decision of what to do with Josh Tomlin. I think Abe was the fourth guy up there. He's still dealing with the hamstring injury. We'll have more in the next couple of days.
All right.
Very good, Doctor.
Swing and a miss by Jay Bruce. I think the Tomlin thing I find interesting because you know how badly he's like a wild colt trying to kick down the stable doors to get out there, and Terry's trying to say whoa Nelly, because he knows that Josh will pitch in pain, and they want to make sure that there's nothing bothering him before they send him out there.
You're exactly right, Matt. It's what they're trying to. They're trying to hold him back. Also, when you look at the schedule, and Tito doesn't want to go this far, knowing that you have that off day after the 3 games in New York and then a doubleheader on September 1, I believe, in Detroit, they know that they're going to need to expand and have more starters. So it really just comes down to where is his arm at and how bad is that hamstring as to when they bring him back to this roster.
2-2 on Jay Bruce. I thought it was interesting too. I don't know if Andre's still down there with us, but Tito was asked about when Michael Brantley comes back, have you thought about the lineup? And Tito said, are you kidding me? The 2-2 on its way to Bruce. And just a beautiful piece of hitting. Stayed right with it, taking it right back up the middle.
You know,
a 1-out hit for Bruce.
You can't tell me that he didn't see how the defense was playing him and make an adjustment with that swing. Because if you're going to pitch him out that way, watch, he knows that ball's off the plate. I can hit it that way, and I'll take a single. What's wrong with that? Not a darn thing. Good at bat. They had 3 guys on the right side, and they were vacating over there, and that's where the base hit is, and he has a 10-game hitting streak.
But obviously, with the addition of Jay Bruce, if and when Brantley is healthy enough to return to the lineup, Tito's got a lot of options. But, to try to pin him down now and say no, because who knows what might happen between now and then when he's ready to come back.
Well, the amazing thing is that these guys continue to try to ask that stuff, and he says the same thing. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. One day at a time, fellas. This is how we got to play the game. He's not available today, so I don't have to worry about that today.
The one thing that he did say that I think he's always been true to his word is whatever he decides, he'll run it by the guys that are involved. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. And he goes, as long as I can make them understand what I'm thinking, everybody will be fine with it.
Yes, no question.
The 0-1 is down low. He just, I think Tito misses that level of consistency that Michael brings day in and day out. He misses having that guy. You just pencil him in, let him go out, and boom, you don't have to worry about it.
Who wouldn't want an all-star on your team or in the lineup? You tell me somebody that would. You got to love to have him back. You'll make room. Don't worry.
The 1-1. Santana with a line drive, base hit into right field. Bruce hits the bag at second. He's headed to third. He'll go in without a throw. Indians at the corners with 1 out as Santana has now hit in 8 straight games. Well, Bruce has hit in 10 in a row.
Carlos just keeps on grinding. This is a breaking ball, and he does the right thing. He gets it to the right side and able to go first and third over the head of Hosmer into right field. Bruce has no problem getting to third. That'll give Jackson an opportunity now for the Indians to retake the lead. Kansas City answered it with the second, the first time they've had a lead in the series, but the Indians came right back and they have an opportunity to take the lead.
Austin struck out his only time up in the second inning. And he lines one toward left field. Coming in is Melky Cabrera, makes a catch, tagging. Going home without a play is Jay Bruce, and the Indians take the lead 3-2. Jackson picks up his 26th RBI on the year as Cabrera made a fine running catch, but then just couldn't right himself in time to get a throw off.
You're right. His momentum was carrying him to the infield, and he couldn't get the ball out of the glove on the run to make a throw. And he double clutched it, but the Indians are on top now, 3-2. Jackson gets the job done.
And now Bradley Zimmer with a runner at first and 2 down. Takes outside, ball 1. Fouled right back, and did that get a piece of the umpire on its way back? It must have, because he was staggered.
Sure did. That was a direct hit, and that moved the mask on the side of his head, so they're going to give him a little time. And, you know, you say you're all right, but you got to shake those cobwebs out.
Well, Ron Copel, the crew chief, has taken a long look in at him from second base. He wants to make sure that Brian's okay before continuing. High fly ball, center field, Kane. And the inning is over. But the Indians parlay a couple of hits into the go-ahead run. 3-2 Cleveland, middle of the 4th. Baseball break this afternoon shows you that the Indians are the only team in the big leagues with 3 12-game winners. Corey Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, and Trevor Bauer joining the club with a dynamite performance again last night. I think it was the Dodgers that had a chance to join them today.
It was today, yes.
Maeda had 11 wins going in, but he won't get there. I think he's out of the game, and the Tigers are leading 4-1 in the 8th. Here is Jorge Bonifacio. Man, he smoked the ball to center for a double his first and only time up. Left field, foul. Just a bit out in front of that one. Ground ball foul, third base side.
Looking around, Matt, Minnesota playing the Diamondbacks. They have a 9-0 lead after winning the first 2 games of that series.
It was 9 in the first, and I'm trying to figure out. T.J. McFarland started that game, but I don't think he's a starter. Ground ball towards short. Lindor can't come up with it, and Bonifacio is aboard to start the inning.
Coming up and just in the transfer, just never got into his hand. You can see it bouncing out of the glove, off his shoulder, but it'll go as a base hit.
I don't know what exactly happened with Arizona's pitching, but McFarland has been in the bullpen all year. So
yeah.
He started and he only recorded 1 out in the first inning. Minnesota scored 9 runs. So this is not the same Arizona team
that we
saw to start the year out at their place. But give the Twins credit. They're beating the stuffing out of the Diamondbacks. Alcides Escobar swinging a miss. He drove in a run in the second inning. Extending his hitting streak to 11 games. Throw to first, and it was close. He just got the hand back in.
Nice throw. You know, that's a tough play when you throw behind there because the first baseman has to reach back. But for Gomes, it's really a nice snap throw, and you can see just does get the hand back before that tag goes on the elbow.
Yeah, it was timed well. Escobar cuts and misses. Salazar gets ahead 1-2. Double play ball perhaps. Lindor to Kipnis, on to Santana. The Tribe turns 2.
Second double play of the day that Salazar is able to induce. And it was right at Lindor. He picked himself up and says, thank you very much.
Oh, he's got to feel a lot better about
Absolutely.
that. Stat of the game today brought to you by Buick. Indians starting pitching, last 16 games, well, in a word, dominating. 11-1, a 1.78 ERA.
Yeah, look at the strikeouts, 131 to the walks, 124. That's a run, baby. That's what you call that starting pitching, getting on a roll. It's fun to watch.
In some respects, even with Andrew Miller having to spend a little time on the DL, the bullpen has been able to sort of catch its breath a little bit.
That's what they did. Absolutely. The starters had to step up. And I think Bauer said it a couple of weeks ago when we were back in Cleveland. You know, the bullpen picked us up for a long time this year. And it's, you know, our turn.
There's a long fly ball hit the deep left field. Jackson back, and it's gone.
Yeah, he hung that one. He was able to strike Cuthbert out the first time, but as I mentioned, he has pretty good numbers against Salazar. He comes back, gets the hanging breaking ball, and hits one out and ties it right back. So they respond to the Indians, and they answer that run that they put on the board. So it's 3-3 now. Cuthbert, his second home run. And when you hit that, you know it as soon as it leaves the bat. The 13th home run allowed by Danny Salazar.
So back to even with 2 down. Cam Gallagher to the plate, and he lines a base hit into center field. Took that fastball right back up the gut. And we turn it over to the top of the order. Kind of have a sneaking suspicion the bullpen will not have a day off here this afternoon. Salazar's already yielded 8 hits. And coming into today, he had given up 10 fewer hits than innings pitched on the year.
Well, he had his first 1-2-3 inning after they tied it up, and then they came back after the Indians scored. The leadoff man got on, but he got the double play ball. Made a bad pitch for the home run, and then Gallagher jumped him on the first pitch fastball. And another one.
Merrifield dumps one into center. That's 4 hits in the inning now for Kansas City.
Yeah, we're in the 4th inning. They already have 3 guys with 2 hits. And he tried to run that fastball in, but a pretty good approach there. He takes it to right center field. So Mickey Callaway going to take a little jog out to the mound. Yeah, you're in the 4th inning, and they're rolling over that lineup now for the 3rd time.
Well, the batter is going to be Lorenzo Cain, who is 0 for 2. And Lorenzo Cain. Boy, there aren't many guys that swing harder than Lorenzo in the game. When he turns it loose.
And he's going for a 3-pointer here.
Every time, it seems like. The 0-1. There's a ground ball to short. Lindor will flip it to Kip, and that ends the inning. But Chesler Cuthbert, with his 2nd home run of the year, has tied this game at 3 after 4 innings of play. Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. 3-3 ball game on a hot Sunday afternoon in Kansas City. We move to the 5th inning, and Yan Gomes to lead off for Cleveland. Out of play to the right.
Magnified.
Gomes swings through a breaking ball.
Send along some birthday wishes today. Bill Frederick turning 74 from Rocky River. Joanne Miller, 85 from Parma Heights. Happy birthday to you both.
The 1-2. And a pop-up right at the plate. Gallagher had a tough time locating it. Now he staggers and holds on.
Well, he's had a tough time today. Foul balls are not easy. Looking up into the sun. He battled it, though, and made the catch. And once you turn around, you know that ball's going to come back. The ump gets out of the way, discards the mask, and boy, that thing comes back. Hang with him. He made the catch. Out number 1.
And that will bring up Francisco Lindor, who hit a 2-run homer to tie the game back in the 3rd inning.
Got a breaking ball. He got the barrel head of that bat out front. It was up.
Remember, he got a second chance in that at bat because it looked like he had fouled out, but Gallagher couldn't make the catch on that pop-up. And when given a second opportunity,
take advantage of it.
He did. Woody Hill, Johnny Peralta, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Pulls it just foul up to the first base side.
Yeah, right now the Royals have out-hit the Indians 9-4. But the score is tied. They have left 5 stranded. The Indians only 2.
Popped and out of play to the left. I don't know what happened to Cam Gallagher, but he's got to go to the dugout.
Oh, I got you. Came back and dirt scraped it a little bit at home plate. A little blood. Nick Kinney will take care of it, wipe it off, maybe put a little Band-Aid on that. This is where it happened. Goes back and watch Down at home plate, lands on the elbow. A little scrape. It's nothing for the catchers.
Nick just cleaned it up a little bit. Lindor down the right field line. That is going to be a base hit.
Got another breaking ball.
And he's aboard with 1 out. Time now for a game break. Let's go back to the studios and Al Pulowski. All right, thanks, Al. Boy, Giancarlo Stanton, what a year.
Yes, indeed. He's capable. Everybody knew it. He's having one of those years.
Kind of pales in comparison, but I was thinking about Lindor with reaching the 20 homer plateau, and we had that graphic of what he held. Johnny Peralta's Drupal Cabrera. Cabrera has the Indians' all-time single-season record for homers by a shortstop. He hit 25 back in 2011. So Frankie sitting here at 20 with a little more than a month to go. Got a legitimate chance at maybe setting a new mark. Hamill thinks he's going. He's really paying close attention to him and misses up and away ball 1. Lindor's stolen 8 out of 10, but he hasn't been running wild.
No, not at all. Nobody has been running wild other than Zimmer for the most part, which is fine. You have that hole over there, but as a hitter, I'm surprised that they can sit up there and wait and let Hamill hold it that long. That time it was quicker.
Jason Kipnis 0 for 2 today. Came in with 7 hits in his last 6 games. 3 of them home runs. 4 runs driven in, 5 runs scored. There goes Lindor. And Kipnis pops one in the air to center. Frankie retreats back to first. 2 down. And now Jose Ramirez. Ramirez 1 for 4 with a double and a run batted in and a run scored last night in his return to the lineup after he missed a little time. He was hit by a pitch in Minnesota. Arch, you ever get like really lit up by a ball at the plate, and did it ever have any lingering effects?
No, not that I can remember. You know, I mean, it hurt, stung for a day or so, but not to where I missed any time.
Just always wonder the state of mind after you get really drilled. If it's still sore, if it's still hurting, you go up there, you're thinking, please don't hit me in that spot.
Well, that's true. You could do that. That one just got him in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Where it got him where there was.
Lindor takes off. Throw down. Not in time.
There you go. You give him a chance to steal a base. He gets his 9th stolen base. Second one today for the Indians. Zimmer had one in the 3rd. He came around to score. Now Lindor taking off with 2 outs. That's what it's going to take, a base hit to get him home.
And you got one of the right men at the plate to deliver a base hit. ...140 hits on the year for Ramirez.
Hitting .279 with runners in scoring position. But this is the big one, the 2-out base hit.
Count in his favor, 2-1. And up and away, 3 balls and a strike. See, here's where this Indians lineup can, even with 2 outs, be imposing for a pitcher. You've got Ramirez, who's one of the best hitters in the league this year. You've got Edwin behind him, and then Jay. I mean, they're just
pick your poison.
Yeah, where do you go from here? 3-1 pitch. Popped him up. And Kane fighting the sun. He makes the catch. Boy, he looked like he was really dealing with that ball right in the sun, but he's able to hold on, and the side is retired.
Well, don't miss your chance to see Indians postseason baseball this year in person. You can purchase 2018 season tickets to unlock access to all 2017 postseason games, and that also includes the World Series. Visit Indians.com/season tickets for all the details.
Pitch inside, ball 1. In off the plate, 2-0. Oh, fastball catches the bottom of the zone. Checked his swing, and it's fouled off over toward the Indians' dugout.
We've seen that a couple of times this afternoon where hitters check their swing and it's able to catch the bat. See that you don't have to offer by much. That ball gets you to a count of 2-2 as opposed to 3-1.
Chased one down in the dirt.
Yeah, he got a piece of it though.
He's saying he got a piece of it?
Yeah, he did. He tipped it. You could hear it and it went down into the dirt, so it wasn't a clean pick. Watch it. He's going to foul it off. It goes right into the dirt. He had the swing and miss.
I don't see the bat hitting that.
No, I heard it. It sounded like a little tip in there.
Hosmer gets the benefit of the doubt. Full count. And he takes advantage of it, gets a base hit in the right field. The Royals have their leadoff man aboard. The Indians are about to get the bullpen busy. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Kansas City struck first with a couple in the second inning. Indians answered back in the third on a 2-run homer by Francisco Lindor. And after the Tribe took the lead 3-2, Cheslor Cuthbert tied it back up for Kansas City with his second home run of the year.
This is the 4th time out of 5 innings that the Royals have had their leadoff man aboard. So they've had Salazar out of that stretch almost every inning early.
Melky Cabrera tried to bunt one to third, but it went foul. Zach McAllister has grabbed the ball, and he's starting to loosen in the Cleveland pen. Kansas City has out-hit the Indians today 10-5.
Then he has a couple of double play balls. He would like one more.
Instead, Cabrera flies one toward right center, caught by Zimmer. Back to first goes Hosmer, 1 down. Player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Mike Moustakas is having a career year in home runs. He has drilled 35. He's one shy of Steve Balboni for the Royals franchise record.
Yeah, and you can see that starting back in '75, John Mayberry, the left-handed hitting first baseman, had 34. Tartable, Palmer 34, and then Gaetti and Moustakas at 35. They've never had a guy lead the league in homers, and you know he can hang around and possibly do that if he gets on a tear.
Boy, just looking at those names, I remember when Danny Tartable left here as a free agent and went to New York. I remember thinking at the time how awful that was for the Royals. You get this big slugger home run guy, and now he goes to the Yankees, and I can't remember him really taking off when he was with the Yankees. Did he have any big years with the Yankees? Or
well, I wouldn't say big years because you get lost in the shuffle there sometimes too.
And he was there prior to that, where they really put it all back together again. Got the franchise rolling in the postseason success. They did have a 31 homer year with the Yankees. Over 100. 0-2 count on Moustakas. Got a piece of that and fouls it back. Mike Moustakas, Eric Hosmer, Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, all in the lineup today, all free agents at season's end.
Yeah, Jason Vargas too, who pitched yesterday for him. Oh, and I would think Cabrera too, isn't he, at the end of the year, even though they traded for him coming over from Chicago? I think he's free at the end of the year too.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed. Danny went up the ladder on him with a good fastball and gets his 5th strikeout of the afternoon. 2 down in the inning.
I like the sequence to put him away with a high fastball because he did throw that breaking ball down and he didn't go after. There he starts him off with a pitch. Now you got him down to count 0-2. There's the pitch down and in he didn't go after. He fouled up a little change up there and then elevate it and throw the fastball by him. I like the sequence.
Now the guy they haven't been able to get out so far today, Jorge Bonifacio. 2 for 2, doubled and scored in the second. He went too far, says the home plate umpire, and it's 0-2. Danny taking a long look in. Now the 0-2. Lined up the middle. He's 3 for 3.
Well, there's a pitch that really wasn't located very well for an 0-2 count by Salazar. 0-2, and he got a fastball and he threw it right down Broadway. There it is, and he takes advantage of it. He's 3 for 3 now and keeps the inning going. 11 hits for the Royals.
Alcides Escobar drove in a run with a base hit in the second inning and bounced into a double play to short circuit, maybe a potential rally in the fourth.
That's a career high when it comes to hits for Salazar. 9 was his highest, so they have 11 now. Callaway going to come out. Callister's been throwing a while, so I just assume he's ready. But they want him to get through this inning with 2 outs.
Blowing away, ball 1.
Big second inning at 25, but he's had base runners all day. He only had the 1-2-3 inning. That was the third, and 4 out of the 5 innings they had their leadoff man aboard. So he's been out of the stretch almost all day long.
Slapped to right field, base hit. Hosmer around third with a go-ahead run. Jay Bruce's throw to the plate, not in time. Alcides Escobar with a 2-out RBI single puts Kansas City in front now 4-3.
And put a nice stroke on this ball. It was elevated. He just shoots it the other way. Look at, he's pointing into the dugout. He probably said, I told you I was going to do that. And he lined a single to right field that ends up coming around and scores Hosmer. And Salazar's afternoon will be over after allowing 12 hits to the Kansas City Royals, and they've gotten a couple of them with runners in scoring position today.
The Royals were 0 for 12 in the series with a runner in scoring position. Today they've gone 3 for 7. They lead it 4-3. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for Zach McAllister. We'll be right back. Well, Danny Salazar had what we call one of those days.
Yeah, 5 hitters for the Royals had at least 2 hits against Salazar, and he only went 4 2/3 today.
Zach McAllister promptly gives up a base hit in the right field. Scoring is Bonifacio. Here comes Escobar. And they've got the runner hung up, or the batter, I should say, hung up. He'll be tagged out. But Kansas City with a huge 2-out, 2-run single to right by Chesler. Cuthbert brings the inning to an end. Royals score 3 in the 5th, and they lead it now 6-3.
The ball game, and on Friday night, Kansas City Royals will be in Cleveland. It's going to be Dollar Dog night. Hosmer and the Royals will be back in town. They've come back twice this year, and 10,000 fans will receive a Rally Together scarf. That's courtesy of United Airlines. There'll be fireworks following the ball game. Go to Indians.com for your details.
Edwin Encarnacion leading off the 6th for the Tribe, down 3 now. And Jason Hamill with a fastball strike. Pulls it foul. Well, it's been one of those games where the Indians have been seemingly fighting uphill. And they've got another climb ahead of them if they're going to come back in this game. And the Royals still have a good bullpen, but it's not the vaunted bullpen of a few years ago where you went, oh man, if you're down after the 6th, forget about it.
No, it used to be a 6-inning game with the Royals, and that was it. They would slam the door. It's nowhere close. Indians, there's still a lot of time in this game. 12 outs to go. But for the Indians, you have to put zeros on the board the rest of the way if you want to fight your way back. They've scored in 3 of the 5 innings today.
Edwin sends a high fly ball to left, but he didn't barrel it up, and Melky Cabrera makes the catch, 1 down. So with 1 out, Jay Bruce to the plate. Minnesota beating up Arizona 10-0 in the 4th inning at Target Field. The 0-1. You know, even though the Indians won the first 2 games of this series and quite handily, the Royals, some of their players were saying after the game last night, you know, yeah, they beat us, but they still were all saying, no, we still believe that we are a good team, though. And we didn't maybe see it the first couple of games, but you're seeing it today. That offense, when they get clicking,
well,
they can be formidable.
The difference today, they've been able to hit with runners in scoring position, and they've been doing that for the last month or so. You know, the Indians shut them down 0 for 12 in the first 2 games, and that's really the difference.
Foul back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Alexander, the left-hander, Moylan for the right side. Hamill closing in on 100 pitches for the day. Jay pops one up, shallow left. Escobar makes the grab, and there are 2 down. Well, the Indians will head home after this ball game and open up a 4-game series against the Boston Red Sox at Progressive Field. Mike Clevenger goes tomorrow night for the Tribe. Our coverage begins with Indians Live at 6:30. First pitch at 7. Sports Time Ohio streams on Fox Sports Go. And, you know, coming into today, the Indians were creeping up on Boston for, you know, the better record would, you just, I'm assuming, obviously, but if Houston goes on and ends up with the best record, then the Indians and Boston would be duking it out to see who hosts the playoff matchup between those two. Last year, the Indians had the better record, and I think a lot of people felt that was hugely important for their success.
Absolutely. All the way through the playoffs, they had game 1 at their place, no question.
Boston currently leading the Yankees 3-1. They're in the 7th inning at Fenway. Santana hits it hard, but with the shift on, it's a fairly routine play for Whit Merrifield. The Indians go 1-2-3, and the Royals lead at 6-3 midway through the 6th. back here at Kauffman Stadium, where the Indians trail the Royals 6-3. Zach McAllister will stay on, facing Cam Gallagher, the number 9 hitter, and then the top of the order. Pitch upstairs, ball 1. Same result.
Well, came on to face Cuthbert back in the 5th inning and jumped on that first pitch, got a base hit to right field, although he ended up getting thrown out at second base as they cut the ball. How about that? 6 through 9, 9 for 11, 6 ribbies and 4 runs. Just look, that's all needs to be said today.
Yeah, they are doing the damage. And for Danny Salazar, as much as we have been singing his praises since he came back to the rotation starting on July 22nd, in those 5 starts he made prior to today, he gave up a total of 5 runs. And today he gives up 6 in 4 2/3 innings. The payoff pitch, and McAllister walks the leadoff man. I think for Salazar, this will be, because of the run he's been on, this will be an easier start to just kind of like Ian Kennedy the other night. You say, well, I didn't have it. I just didn't have much. I tried to battle. I tried to compete. And, you know, you're not happy about it, but I think it'll be easier for him to kind of move on from this.
He had to fight through early, there's no doubt, because they came at him. He had a couple of ground ball double plays to help him out of that ball game, but they hit the ball. I don't think he could command it and throw it where he wanted to today.
Here's Whit Merrifield. I guess that should have been the first indicator that it was not going to be Danny's day. Whit Merrifield came into this game 0 for his last 23 and singled to start the game against Danny. He has 2 hits, and then he lined out to right field, hit a line drive that Jay Bruce caught in the 2nd inning. So all 3 at bats, he has not looked like a hitter struggling or searching for his confidence. He swung the bat very well.
Well, they only have, out of their 13 hits, they got 1 double and 1 home run. You know, the home run was a solo shot, and the double didn't drive in a run. The Royals will be off tomorrow. Then they'll host the Colorado Rockies coming in on Tuesday, and that's when they should get Salvador Perez back.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, and so far, for Zach McAllister, everything's up in the strike zone. Up, up, up.
And that one was upstairs, but he couldn't help himself. Merrifield strikes out, 1 down. Well, the 2-out RBI hits are always the tough ones to get, and they're backbreakers for the guy on the mound. Danny Salazar gave up 1 to put Kansas City ahead by a run, and then McAllister came on. First pitch he threw got slapped into right field, and 2 more came home. And there's a base hit in the left field for Lorenzo Cain. Gallagher stops at second.
Well, he gets his first hit of the day. And you're going to see another fastball. It's upstairs and right down the middle, and they take advantage of it. Boy, these guys, they're searching now.
Eric Hosmer, the batter, 2 for 3. Scored a run his last time up. Fouls it off. This brings to an end an 11-day road trip for the Tribe, in which they have played 11 games. The Kansas City Royals, as Rick mentioned, will host Colorado coming up. Then they'll go to Cleveland next weekend and come right back home, play Tampa Bay. Then they do a 6 days on the road, 6 days at home, and then mid to late September they have what we're doing right now. They have an 11-day, 11-game road trip that will start with 4 in Cleveland. They'll go to Toronto for 3, they'll go to Chicago for 3, and then they go to New York for a makeup game against the Yankees before they come home. And then they'll finish the season at home against the Tigers, and then the Diamondbacks will be here to finish the season.
Oh, no kidding. They got interleague on the last day.
Swung on, fouled right back. Now, granted, you'll have expanded rosters and all that in September, but still, if the Royals are either A, hanging around in the divisional race or in the wild card race, that's a pretty grueling stretch to have an 11-day, 11-game road trip late in the year.
Yeah, and 29 and 32 on the road. You know, so you've got to go out there and you've got to play, boy.
Zach McAllister trying to take care of Hosmer, keep the Indians alive here. Center field, Zimmer fighting that sun. It's brutal out there, and makes the catch. Runners hold, 2 down. Let's take a look now what the Indians have coming up. They're going to go home, face Boston for 4, then the Royals come in. Then they've got another 3-city road trip. Yankees, Tigers, and that's a doubleheader on Friday,
right,
September 1st.
Yes, it is.
And then 4 in Chicago. And then they come back home. You get a long homestand finally. Baltimore, Detroit, Kansas City, and then the Indians will head out for a West Coast trip. Angels, Mariners, and then come home to finish the season against the Twins and the White Sox. Chopped to second base. Kipnis with the flip ends the inning. 6 complete. Kansas City leads it 6-3. Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the stylish 2017 Kia Optima, and by Smart Path Forward. Lakeland Community College is your Smart Path Forward. Get started today. 6-3 Royals. And we go to the 7th inning. New pitcher for Kansas City. They head to their bullpen for the first time today. Left-hander Scott Alexander faced 4 batters on Friday night. Struck out a pair, retired all 4 that he faced. 3rd straight scoreless appearance. And he's got the bottom third of the Indians order due up here with Austin Jackson, Bradley Zimmer, and Yan Gomes coming up. Even though the Indians have been out hit 14-5, they're only down 3. The way they've been swinging the bats of late.
Yeah, you get a couple guys aboard.
Yeah.
One swing of the bat will do it. And you're going to have to do it against the bullpen. Now that's where, when they were on their last road trip, they had trouble in Oakland with the bullpen. They let Oakland come back a couple of times against them.
Up and away, ball 1. Well, Scott Alexander, you talk about streaky. He's had 3 straight scoreless appearances, but that followed a stretch in which he gave up runs in 6 consecutive outings.
Ouch. Yeah, they have, what, 3 left-handers coming out of their bullpen.
Two 2-0 gets in there for a strike. Chopped off the plate. Moustakas is there and throws him out. Excuse me, Cuthbert making the play over there at third base for the Royals.
You look at that Royals bullpen back in the day when they were very good. 13, 14, they were 5th, and 15, first again. Fell off a little bit last year. This year, they're 8th. Yeah, it used to be like a 6-inning game. Boy, they'd come up and the last 3 innings, you would see some tremendous arms.
Well, remember when Luke Hochevar had the injury and they moved him to the bullpen. They had Hochevar, they had Wade Davis, Herrera, all setting up in front of
Holland. Right. Then he had the surgery and missed, and now he's signed with the Colorado Rockies, and he's back to himself.
Remember Tim Collins, the old lefty they had out of the bullpen, ate up a bunch of innings for him too.
Well, he's been hurt for a while.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Zimmer. 2 down.
Gets him with the slider here. Indians have only struck out 4 times today.
Yan Gomes is looking around. Home plate umpire's looking around. Everybody's like, what is that noise? Swing and a miss by Gomes. Up the first base line, and it trickles foul. Angels leading the Orioles 5-4. They're in the 8th. Red Sox still holding off the Yankees 3-1 in the 7th at Fenway Park. Arizona finally got on the board against Minnesota, but it's 10-4 Twins in the 5th inning at Target Field.
Still may be enough time for Arizona in that ball game because they've got a good offense. They just haven't been able to do anything this weekend.
Gomes to third. Cuthbert. High throw and over everybody's head. So the error keeps the inning alive for the Indians.
Yeah, he just launched it, man. It took it. When you get it over Hosmer's head, he's a very athletic first baseman. If he can't get it, that is a bad throw. It'll go down as an error. That's only 55 errors on the year. They are rated #1 in the league.
And Francisco Lindor gets a chance.
They hit their stretch when they were on their last road trip where they were playing bad defense, but first error in the series.
Lindor, who homered from the other side of the plate in the 3rd inning, does have a game this year in which he's homered from both sides of the plate. 7 of his 20 on the year have come as a right-handed batter. Shoots this one to deep right field. Back is Bonifacio making the catch to retire the side. Stretch time in Kansas City, 6-3 Royals. Check out the district ticket at Progressive Field. Great location. And your first drink is on us, but you can only get them online. It's presented by Sports Time Ohio Indians.com/district ticket. Dan Otero coming on to pitch now for Cleveland. And he'll be facing the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Kansas City. After Zach McAllister worked an inning of the third. Mike Moustakas 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Will lead it off. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Good fastball up in the strike zone, maybe just above the strike zone.
Moustakas today, he walked at his first at bat, the second came around to score, and then struck out his next 2 times.
Shoots one the other way, and it's a fair ball, and that'll keep the hit streak alive for the Moose. He goes into second base with his 3rd double in the series, and he's now collected a hit in 11 straight games.
And the roll continues for Kansas City. 6 out of the 7 innings. They have their leadoff man aboard, and another pitch up in the zone, but he was able to shoot it the other way. So his streak continued. Escobar's continued in his first at bat. They both have 11 game streaks. 20th double for Moustakas on the year.
Last year, Dan Otero led the Indians bullpen with 70 2/3 innings pitched. That was 13th most in the American League. This year, Brian Shaw, not surprising really when you think about how often he is used. He's made 59 appearances, and Shaw is 1/3 of an inning shy of 59 innings. Broken bat, roller to first. Santana will take it himself. Bonifacio is retired. Moustakas moves to 3rd. And then after Brian Shaw, Andrew Miller, even with his stint on the DL, is still 2nd in relief innings pitched at 54 2/3. Otero this year came into today's game 44 2/3 innings of work on the year. But you also think back to last year, he had a couple of long relief stints.
Well, yeah, he's pretty much your long man a lot of times coming out if your starter gets hit early. And, they try to get 2, maybe just a little bit more than 2 from him.
Well, Alcides Escobar has done a great job today. Drives that one to deep center, gets the run home from 3rd. Textbook fundamental baseball. 7-3 Royals. Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite. Chesler Cuthbert has not seen the field in the series before today.
Well, he wants to see it again. I'll tell you that. After going deep, he goes the other way and drives in 2 big insurance runs there.
Alcides Escobar, meanwhile, with that sac fly, has driven in 3 runs for Kansas City, as we
bottom
just
part of the lineup.
Yeah, that's where all the damage really is.
It sure is.
Been done.
7 ribbies down there.
Jam job, broke his bat. Lindor has to hurry. He gets him, and the side is retired. Royals add a run. We'll head to the 8th, 7-3 Kansas City. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (7-3) Kansas City, 8th inning. And the Royals go back to the bullpen. Brandon Maurer coming on after Scott Alexander worked a scoreless 7th.
They also insert Gordon in the outfield to left field and move Cabrera over to right.
Jason Kipnis takes inside fastball, 1-0.
Maurer pitched an inning yesterday, gave up a couple of hits and a run, did strike out 2 batters.
And that fastball was in there. 1-1. And Kipnis down on the count of ball and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch and up the middle. You see Maurer try to go behind his back, but came up empty. And Kipnis has a hit to start the 8th inning. Let's go down to Andre.
Well, if you've been paying attention over the last few nights, Terry Francona's gone out of his way to take Jason Kipnis out of the games early. Also, you've seen sometimes he had a double a couple nights ago to start the game off. Slowly went into second base. Basically, they're telling him to take care of his legs. If he doesn't have to run all out, Tito has told him not to. They said with the weather and with how many games they have to play and how he's been swinging the bat, Tito just wants him to take care of himself. So don't fret. He's just taking care of himself as best as he can right now, coming back from that hamstring injury.
Thanks, Andre. Here's Jose Ramirez, 0 for 3 today.
Oh. That slider got away from him there. That was well into the left-handed batter's box. It starts out right at his knee, if not behind it. He's got to go down.
Line towards center, but boy, he had him played perfectly. Lorenzo Cain able to run it down. 1 away. He was shading him over that way. And up comes Encarnacion. Edwin is 0 for 3 today.
Yeah, we talk about Brian Buxton, the center fielder for the Minnesota Twins that we saw on this trip. He's a good one, and he can go get him. But I'll tell you what, so can Lorenzo Cain. Gets good jumps and a lot of ground to cover here in this ballpark.
It's very rare that you see Lorenzo Cain going for a ball in any direction and have it look like he's really running hard.
Yeah.
He just
The
seems
guy
to
that
have
used
that.
to be like that was Devon White that used to be with the Angels in Toronto. You just let
Take
those
long strides and bang, bang. Yeah, I'm there.
Covers a lot of ground, and he knows where he is at all the time on the field.
Out of play. And that's outside. 3 balls and a strike. That's all you need. Free base runner. Down 4 here in the 8th. Full count. Payoff pitch is popped out of play. Edwin will try again. Tigers beat the Dodgers 6-1 behind Justin Verlander today. Ball 4. So the Indians have 2 on. Tying run to the on-deck circle. Jay Bruce, the batter. And the Kansas City bullpen starts to.
Well, that's the thing. They only had 1 walk that they allowed the Indians to reach today.
It's the closer, Herrera, who's up.
Yeah. Well, they have tomorrow off, so if need be, they're going right to him. And I would think they would go with, more than 3 outs if need be. Need 1 more runner to reach before you can get the tying run to the plate, though.
Jay Bruce takes low, ball 1. Two and 0.
Right now,
the fans are starting to get grumpy.
Yeah, they don't like to see walks, but this guy, he throws 96, 97. And a lot of times if he can't command that fastball, he's throwing his secondary pitches. And, right now he's throwing it. It's all over the place. So Gallagher going to go out, slow it down. But what he's allowing is that bullpen to get ready. So it won't take Ned Yost long to go out to the mound and take him out.
Well, yesterday it was Santana and Jackson who got Mauer for a run. The double by Santana, Jackson knocked him in. Those 2 guys are
on deck.
Right behind Bruce. Oh man, Jay had a rip but fouled it back 97 miles an hour. And that's probably what Gallagher went out and said to him. Look, you've got a good fastball. Don't forget about it here.
Well, right. And it's right there. He just challenged him. And, sometimes you give hitters too much credit. But when you're up by 4, you should be aggressive and at least go at them. You don't want to give up any free base runners.
Fouled out of play, 2-2. So he's come right back with consecutive fastballs that Bruce has fouled off. And the count even at 2-2. Another fastball and another foul ball.
Yeah, he had to dig that one out. That was a pretty good pitch.
Again, the 2-2. He finally took a little something off. And he gets a swing and a miss. 2 down.
Well, you can see it was all set up by the fastballs that he was throwing Jay Bruce, where he had to speed up his bat to catch up to the 96, 97. And after he jammed him with one and he fouled off, then he slowed it down and he got the swing and miss.
Carlos Santana has walked, singled, and grounded out today. Popped him up. Is it playable though? Gallagher back to the on-deck circle. Makes the catch even though the third baseman Cuthbert almost ran him over.
He wanted to take that one now.
The Indians strand a pair, and we go to the last half of the 8-6 or 7-3 Kansas City.
Now you look at this. It's been a tough day for Gallagher. That one over there, I thought it should have been the third baseman's ball. Then he gets one straight back looking into the sun. He makes the play and falls down. But this time, now you get Cuthbert coming over there and runs into him when he had that one by plenty. But I guarantee you someone told Cuthbert that you better catch that ball. They probably felt they should have caught the first one.
Cam Gallagher has done his part at the plate. He's got 2 hits, an RBI. He's also walked. Oh, and 2 the count. Right back to Otero. And the flip to first for out number 1. Revisiting today's storylines brought to you by Mazda. Jason Hamill had really overpowered the Indians in his first 2 starts. They had some pretty good at-bats against him. They got him for 3 runs on 5 hits in 6 innings. But it was Danny Salazar was really the story today. He just did not have it. No command. And gave up a lot of hits. He gave up more runs today than he had in his previous 5 starts combined. I mean, 12 hits in 4 2/3 innings.
Yeah, a career high for him. Yeah. Normally, he does not give up many hits.
Now, hey, as the saying goes, you give credit where it's due, and this is no slouch of a lineup that the Royals have. So, the weird thing is you would have expected the guys to do the damage to be Kane, Hosmer, Cabrera, Moustakas, but it was the other guys.
It was the 7, 8, 9, Escobar, Cuthbert, and Gallagher. But you get production from your bottom part of the lineup. That always helps. They've taken the pressure off of the big boys. And today was the first time they didn't have the lead in this series. Kansas City jumped out early and took a 2-0 lead, so they battled back. But they did it quickly. They ended up scoring 2 in the 3rd, and they got 1 in the 4th to take the lead. But then Kansas City responded. They said, hey, no. You can't sweep us here.
Whit Merrifield strikes out, 2 down. Nice pitch here by Dan Otero. Watch this baby go in on him.
Yeah, that's the movement.
Tough to dig that out.
Yes, it is. You hit a shovel.
And Lorenzo Cain with 2 down is 1 for 4 in the afternoon. High fastball, couldn't catch up there. Chopped it off of his foot.
Well, that thing took a high bounce in the air after it goes off a body part. Last thing you want to do here, spend almost all day tomorrow icing it down.
Just a bit outside. A 15-hit Royals attack here today. Bouncer to short. Lindor throws him out and will go to the ninth. 7-3 Kansas City. All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think just about everything eluded Danny Salazar here today. Just had no fastball command, breaking ball, secondary stuff. And it all ended up with the Royals taking him. You know, that's what you always talk about hitters. And, you know, for years I heard hitters say, you know, you don't make your living hitting a 2-2 slider, a 3-2 slider on the black. You've got to hit mistakes and take advantage when pitchers don't have their stuff. And this is a good Royals hitting lineup, and that's what they did today.
Well, and even when Danny got inside on a couple of those hitters early, they were able to fight it off and they blooped him in, and it cost him a couple of runs. So, hey, it's one of those games that it's one of those things. The Royals had 15 hits. There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, and you know, as the saying goes, do the breaks, so to speak, ever even out? That's debatable. Last night, Kansas City felt like they was robbed. You know, they hit some balls hard, but they hit them right at defenders and couldn't catch a break.
Well, I know one thing the Indians are looking forward to. That's getting on that plane and heading home.
Certainly look forward to getting back to Progressive Field, hopefully to some big crowds for this upcoming series against Boston, and then the Royals come right back into town next weekend. Royals fans brought it the first 2 nights. Crowd definitely dropped off quite a bit for the finale here today. The 1-2. They had almost 36 on Friday, a little over 34 last night. 27,417 here today. And I'll tell you what, I take my hat off to them, because even though the game time temperature was only 85 today, in that sun down there, you see all these people sitting there just sitting and sweating.
Yeah, like Kansas City can be in the summer. There's no doubt. Hot, humid, and there's really no place to hide.
They can take their T-shirts off after the game and wring them out before they head home.
One of those things where if I was a guy in this ballpark, I'd like to rent some shade.
Here's the 1-2. Jackson shoots one up the gap in left center field. He can run all day. Lorenzo Cain gives chase. Jackson around second. He's going to turn and burn for 3. And he will go in there sliding safely with a leadoff triple here in the 9th for the Indians. That's Jackson's 3rd triple on the year.
Well, very good at bat too, again by Austin to foul off a couple of good pitches until he got a low fastball. But I don't know, it looked like it might have had some cut to it. But it stayed down there, and he plugs the gap in left center field. So there's your start. Had a couple of base runners last inning, couldn't get him in. Kansas City trading the outs with a 4-run lead here.
And Bradley Zimmer, the batter. And a fastball misses up high. Yeah, I was kind of trying to figure out what the same thing you were looking at, that fastball to Jackson. Normally I'm looking
that's
97, 98.
It is. That was not his normal fastball. I don't know if it was a 2-seamer. It might have been a 2-seam fastball, but it wasn't as good 4-seamer.
2-0. Well, they've got Herrera looking a little rusty out here today.
Well, you know how it is sometimes when a closer comes in, it's not a closing situation. Things can happen. This is the situation. Not to say it will, but you get that man aboard, you get the first couple guys on, and you never know what can happen.
Two-one pitch. Oh, went up the ladder on him.
Yeah, that's the pitch there that you can't swing at as a hitter because it is 96, 97. That's one you should take.
And Zimmer able to fight off a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Bradley had a bunt single back in the third. And 2 batters later, Francisco Lindor hit a 2-run homer, and that tied the game at 2 back in the third inning. Indians would go ahead 3-2. But it's been all Kansas City since then. 5 unanswered. High, full count. Yan Gomes waiting on deck. And then Lindor to follow.
Yeah, ball 4, base hit. What you're looking for here.
Zimmer checks and it glanced off the bat. We'll do it again. I think this was going to be borderline to begin with. It was probably going to be too high.
Yeah, anything above that belt, boy, with this guy. But you're right. With 2 strikes, it's tough to take something close. You don't want to leave it in the hands of the umpire.
And he popped it up. Alex Gordon in left field makes the catch, and Jackson has to hold. 1 down. That is a huge first out for Kelvin Herrera. Can breathe a little easier. Had Zimmer reached, his heart rate probably would have skyrocketed. Now Yan Gomes 0 for 3. .98-mile-an-hour fastball. Called a strike. Chopped between third and short. Backhanded there by Escobar. He'll throw to first, and just in the nick of time to get Gomes. Yan picks up RBI number 40 as Jackson scores from third. The Indians have cut it to 7-4, but now there are 2 down in the inning.
Long throw. Oh, so close. Get you by a half a step.
To the top of the order, Francisco Lindor, the last hope for the Indians. Fastball is up and in. Now 1-0. Lindor shoots one to right field. Down the line it goes. He'll take off. And he'll go into second base with a 2-out double to keep the heat on Kelvin Herrera here in the 9th inning.
That's Frankie's 3rd hit. Double now. That'll be his 34th. And keep the inning going. That was that same pitch, that 93-mile-an-hour pitch by him that Frankie lined into right field corner. And leaves it up to Jason Kipnis now to see if he can keep it going.
Kipnis is 1 for 4 today. His base hit came in the 8th inning. If Kipnis can get aboard, then Jose Ramirez would be the tying run on deck. Last 7 games, Kipnis now has 8 hits. Takes again, 2-0. He's taken him deep once before. Three and 0.
Well, you need that base runner.
Now the 3-0. Bullseye. The inside corner, so a full count.
That'll look like Jason taking all the way there. You're going to make him throw 3 in a row. Not a bad idea because you need the base runner.
And the payoff pitch. Hit in the air to center field. Back goes Lorenzo Cain. Still going back and makes the catch just shy of the warning track. And the game is over. The Royals avoid the sweep by beating the Indians today 7-4. Kansas City goes to 62-61. The Indians will head home 68-54 on the year. Still, all in all, a very successful road trip at 8-3 for the Indians.
Yeah, no question. It was a very good road trip for the Indians. You know, you wanted to finish it off, try and go 9-2, but I'll tell you, they battled, and the Royals, they weren't going to let them sweep. We'll get an opportunity to face them next weekend in Cleveland. So overall, a good road trip. They can head home now after a long one, 4-city trip, and let's lock up with the Boston Red Sox coming to town for 4 games.
Jason Hamill, the winner, he's 6-9. The loss will go to Danny Salazar, who falls to 5-6. Time now for a Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game.
You got to go back to that 5th inning now with Kansas City. A couple of clutch hits. Escobar with the 2 outs, taking him the other way. That was the last hitter for Salazar. McAllister comes in, the very first pitch he throws. It's a base hit to right field. That scored 2 more. That was the insurance. That gave them the 3 spot in that 5th they needed. And that is, they propelled them to go on and win that ball game today.
7-4 is the final. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.